for the new Vikings coach Paul Cullen. Halifax are out to deny him a winning start. Halifax without regular centres James Haley and John Goddard both injured, while loan signing Matt James is also out injured. So this is the Halifax side. Miles Greenwood is at full-back. Then it's Lee Patterson, Dwayne Barker and Shad Royston are the centre pairing. Rob Warrency, Bob Bezic, signed from Widnes of course, and Ben Black. In the forwards, Neil Cherryholm, who replaces Matt James, Mark Gleeson, Dana Wilson, David Larder, Mark Roberts and Paul Smith, who captains the side. Sean Penkovic, Saeed Tamgart, Frank Watanabe and Mick Govin are on the bench for the coach, Matt Calland. Now Widnes make just one change from the team that thrashed Toulouse. Richard Fletcher out with a hamstring injury. Scott Yates is at full-back. Paddy Flynn, Toa Koe-Love, Shane Grady, Dean Gaskell, John Duffy and James Webster. In the forwards, Michael Ostick, Mark Smith, Jim Gannon. There's the change with Lee Doran moving to second row to partner Richard Varkulis and Loz Wildboar starting at loose forward. On the bench, Anthony Thackeray, Gavin Dodd, who comes into the side, Ben Kavanagh and Josh Sim. And the coach, for the first time officially, of the Widnes Vikings is Paul Cullen. There is Matt Calland, and born on Highfield Road, where the Widnes Vikings ground stands, and used to go and watch Widnes in the Norton Park days, moved across the country and now in charge of this Halifax side, looking to bring down his hometown club in front of a healthy crowd here at the Shea. And the Shea, happily, is undergoing rebuilding work now. After 8 years of dithering, delay and debate, the contractors are back in, and you can see the scaffolding and the porta cabins as the Widnes Vikings team comes onto the field, and this new East Stand is finally being finished. And Widnes in a very striking day-glow yellow is that high-vis vests they're wearing. And Paul Cullen, his first game officially in charge, he was on John Stankovic's shoulder last week as Mark Smith and his team took Toulouse apart, but this is going to be a very different kettle of fish against a pumped-up Halifax side who did so well against Widnes last season. In the 3 games between the two sides, Halifax won 2 and drew the other one, and that was a dramatic 26-all draw here in July. And if it's anything like that, it's going to be a very exciting evening. Cullen heads towards the dugout, and of course has crossed the great divide from Warrington, where he was so much part of the furniture, to Widnes Vikings, and hoping that his side can continue where they left off last week in a rich vein of form. This Widnes Vikings side, 58 points scored in their last couple of games and none conceded. Referee this evening is Robert Hicks, who'll have charge of this, and it'll be Widnes Vikings who'll get us underway.
Well, both of these sides have been scoring points in the games of rugby league they've played in 2009. The winners tonight will be the ones who can actually match that with some defensive work. Neither have fully been tested over an 80-minute course. I see this one going all the way.
Well, we've seen some exciting games between these two sides since we've been covering National League and Championship Rugby League, and what a disastrous start that is for the Widnes Vikings.
Well, that's the first thing you notice when you play on this pitch. It is clearly not 100 metres long, maximum distance of probably 90 metres, and the kick there clearly going over the dead ball line. They haven't taken into account the conditions, the size of the pitch, and it's an elementary error to begin the match.
So Halifax are gifted an early penalty and are able to push Widnes deep down into their own territory. Yates it was with that kick-off, and Halifax immediately pressing on this Widnes Vikings line and attacking the end of the ground where their supporters are massed. And there's Gleeson. Gleeson finds big Dana Wilson, the Cook Islander, who takes the first tackle. Gleeson, little sniping run from him, and then pops the ball up for Paul Smith, the captain out on the field there, but Sean Penkovic also captain. He did the coin toss, but while they're on the field and Penkovic is on the bench, then Paul Smith captains the side. Now here's Neil Cherryholm into the side in place of the injured Matt James. Matt James returning to the club on loan from Bradford, immediately picking up an injury in training, unavailable for tonight. Cherryholme plays in his place. Here's Miles Greenwood, this exciting young full-back. That's the 5th tackle.
Hold. 2 feet. Lead 2 feet.
Royston, and Ben Black stabs the kick in. I thought that was going to hit the post. Oof. Good covering, but was that a high shot?
What a brilliant start to the game for Halifax. Gifted possession from the arrow with the kick going over the dead ball line. They've applied some decent pressure, and then with a kick and chase here, forced what will be a goal line dropout and a further 6 more chances to score first.
Poor Scott Yates felt that as a posse of Halifax players bore down on him to force that goal line dropout. So pressure early on this Widnes Vikings defence. Well, from the kick-off, the penalty, as the ball went out of play.
Go. Foot on the ball!
Robert Hicks, insisting that ball is played correctly.
Mark Roberts has had 2 good contributions in just this set of 6, keeping the ball alive as much as he possibly can.
Here come Halifax again. Right in front of those posts. Gleeson goes to the right. Dana Wilson again, and Wilson once more trying to use his strength. They go right once more. Black fires the pass out. It's not a good one. They're forced to retreat and pick the ball up. It's back with Black, and Black on the burst will get the first try of the game. Well, he took it in his own hands there. His first pass sent his team onto the back foot. He got the ball back, and Black put his foot to the floor and just tore through the Widnes Vikings defence there to get his 5th try of the season. And what a start it has been for Halifax from that mistake from the kick-off. Widnes have been under pressure, and Halifax have made it tell.
Well, the 12th consecutive play that Halifax had attacking the Widnes line, and a common occurrence in rugby league. When the ball goes to ground, so many defenders switch off momentarily, and I think that's what created the gap and the pause in concentration, just switching off. As the ball hits the deck, people relax, think the problem and the threat has gone, but Black senses a gap, accelerates through and scores close to the post. Great application of pressure and conversion into points.
He's a really popular figure here at Halifax is Ben Black. He's back for his 2nd spell at the club. In fact, he went home to Australia to play for Burleigh Bears, and has a West Tigers experience there as well. As you can see, a former Manly junior at one stage in his career, but he came back here and he's again making an impact. Made an impact first time round. He got 33 tries in 36 appearances. Or 36 tries in 33 appearances it was, and he's on target again tonight. He's on target with that conversion attempt. Halifax ahead by 6 points to 0 here against the Widnes Vikings. They knew this was going to be tougher, Terry.
This was always going to be a tough game. This Halifax side can score points from anywhere. You can't give them field position. Here's the error from the kick-off, and Widnes cannot give penalties. This Halifax team want to play rugby, and this was just an opportunist try. Ben Black sees the space, goes round Varkulis and dives over to put Halifax in front.
Worth making reference that Mark Roberts passed the ball 3 times in that set of 6 tackles. He's a second row forward. He might not be the biggest player, but certainly one of the toughest, and also the ability now to keep the ball alive.
So will that restart found the right piece of territory from Scott Yates. He'll be relieved about that. There is the young fullback, try scorer against Toulouse last week.
This is the part of the pitch where you win games. You dominate in attack and in defence, and this is where you've got to really put pressure on. Halifax really working the short side, seem to be getting at Towako we love. But this is where you've got to give your fullback a bit of a chance. He's got to catch the ball in good field position.
Dana Wilson seeing plenty of the ball early on. That's the 5th tackle, and Widnes pinning Halifax into their own half, and then the kick from Black is a deep one. It's fielded by Paddy Flynn, and the pitch is quite soft here. It's not in bad shape, but it is quite pudding-like in places. There's a bit of sand on it, and notice that ball didn't really kick off. It just seemed to sort of splat into the ground, if you like. And Widnes looking for a good set of 6 now.
Move 10 metres.
There is their new coach, Paul Cullen. Stern-faced, he won't be pleased with that start.
4. Move. Go.
Mark Smith now. Ostick on the charge.
5 and last. 10 metres.
That's the 5th tackle.
7, make the 10.
And James Webster has possession. Here's Duffy now, and Duffy will drill the kick in, finds a nice bit of space between Lee Patterson and Miles Greenwood.
I was impressed with the run that Michael Ostick made. It was a quick play of the ball that allowed Duffy to get the ball a little bit wider. No pressure on him. He's put the kick into the corner. And now they want to apply some pressure at this end of the field. One they haven't been to yet in the opening 6 minutes of this game.
Finding the second nose there. In, out.
So Halifax ahead by 6 points to 0. Ben Black, the try scorer, but Widnes looking now to force the error at Halifax end of the field. Shad Royston plays the ball. Royston, who started off at full-back for this Halifax side, he's been used in the forwards, now playing in the centre. The penalty goes for the high tackle.
Hang on. It's back here.
Well, a good run
Miles
from
Greenwood.
Halifax, but you'd have to say that the marker defenders allowed him to get out there. A run from dummy half in that part of the game and that stage of the match. A little too easy for him to make 10 metres. And you can clearly see, he put the hand around the head or neck, he will be penalised.
Richard Varkulis it was, up against his former club tonight.
Move. Hang on.
2 balls on the pitch, so referee Hicks just calls a halt to proceedings at the
Tackle
moment.
Go.
And Dana Wilson plays that ball just inside his own half.
2. Move. Hold. Go.
Off goes Gleeson. Ben Black now. Black, short ball. Again,
3.
strong defence from Widnes. It's Shane Grady this time making the tackle.
Go.
Dana Wilson once more.
4. Move. Toa, come on. Go.
Black now. There is Bob Bezic, 3 years a Widnes player. Bezic finds Greenwood, and Greenwood on one leg, hopping his way towards that try line until Duffy gets a hold of him. Bezic drills the kick in, it ricochets, and Ostick chasing that for all he's worth. He did well there, and he's wiped the tackle count clean as the referee. So more pressure on the Widnes defence. Webster makes the tackle on Lee Patterson.
Shot for numbers on the wide for left. Dean Gaskell begging for players to come out and help cover.
But the pass goes astray, and it'll be knocked on. There was a succession of knock-ons there. Matt Callan, Martin Hall chomping alongside him.
I think he got behind it.
Well, look, you see Jim Gannon's actually out wide defending. Only Dean Gaskell outside him at that point in the match.
Side sense. Sorry. No, go. Head in, Lars.
Head and feet to the Widnes Vikings then.
Out.
Duffy now.
That's one.
Well, if it was a foggy night, you wouldn't have any trouble spotting this Widnes Vikings side. They really do stand out in this away kit of theirs.
2.
Lee Duran
Now. Stand up.
struggling to get to his feet. He'll get the penalty. Gleeson all over him, claiming he was being held down there.
You have to take a second look at it. He's on top. Can't understand why he hasn't got up there, can you? Is he held down? That's what he's claimed.
Come on,
Doesn't
Mark,
look that
better
way.
than that.
Now Widnes get the ball in their opponent's half for the first time.
Mark Gleeson playing against his old coach, Paul Cullen, here tonight. Left Warrington last season.
Move. Hold. Go.
Now Widnes looking to steady the ship after that early error that has cost them 6 points. Ultimately,
2.
Webster there, number 7, just directing the troops. Gaskell goes on a typical Gaskell-like run, and Gannon is met, but manages to get to his feet to play the ball quickly as Bezic was all over him. Duffy will chip the kick over the top. Flynn is going for it, has got it, and has got the try. What great work from Paddy Flynn. Gets his 6th try of the season. No need to go to the video ref for that. Duffy with the kick, and Flynn read that ever so well. He got a hat-trick inside the first half hour last week, and he's got his side on the scoreboard now.
Well, what a wonderful execution here of a kick. Only the 3rd tackle here in the set, but he sets the opportunity to Duffy to apply some pressure and back to him and his teammates. What a brilliant catch there with the right hand. We saw Ryan Hall score an amazing try, similar in Super League last week. Well, this one is of equal quality. He's gathered it with one hand, knows that there's a body in front of him that he needs to evade, and yet has gathered the ball in and scored a very important try for Widnes, who have been under some pressure.
He's just 21 years of age, is Paddy Flynn, but he's certainly made an impact already this season. Got into the first team last year and got 4 tries in the 5 appearances he made in 2008. So he hasn't stopped scoring since he's been in the side, really. Yates with a conversion attempt, he's pushed that one across the face of the posts. He'll be disappointed with that. Kicked 11 from 12 against Toulouse last week, but wide of the target there, but Widnes hit back. It's 6-4.
This try come about because Bob Bezic come out the line, tried to put a shot on Jim Gannon. Jim Gannon's got up, played the ball really quick, and knew that they'd be short out wide. Put a lot of pressure on his Halifax teammates and Paddy Flynn to jump up higher than his opposite and go in at the corner.
If tries from kicks are not to be worth as much as tries in ordinary play, what was that one worth?
Well, I think in reflection, Lee Patterson will be critical of himself, really. It was brilliant play from Flynn to score, but I think as the number 2 for Halifax would admit, he had to do a bit more to make that harder. Neither did he contest the ball nor attempt to make a tackle. What about this here? Halifax winning the ball back from the kickoff and then fortunately losing it on the ground. Great to see both of these sides attempting to vary their restarts.
Here is Duffy varying things for the Widnes Vikings as Lee Duran takes that pass. Loz Wildboar operating at loose forward here, the former Hull man. Signed from Featherstone Rovers and normally associated with the full-back role, but he's versatile.
All okay now.
And Widnes missing Richard Fletcher, who injured a hamstring in training, so that's meant a reshuffle for the Viking side, just that change from the team that won last week.
Off the neck.
Warrency, one of the close season signings for this Halifax team. Great pace as Rob Warrency. Cherryholm now, he's a big unit, is Neil Cherryholm. He's been at the Bradford Bulls, or had 5 years at the Bradford Bulls without managing to make the grade. But he's a hard-working, big lad.
Hold, go.
David Larder plays that ball. Bezic finds Gleeson, and Gleeson almost found a little gap. That's the 5th tackle. Mark Smith got a hold of his opposite number. It'll be Ben Black who'll hoist the kick. Just goes straight up in the air, really. Nobody wanting it. It's still on the last, and so Warrency puts the kick in. Now then, is it still the last? Will they get another set here? Dana Wilson picks it up. It's back to 1. They did play at that, said referee Hicks. Well, that was a harsh call, perhaps.
Well, some fortune in favour of Halifax, and no Widnes tested here. They weren't tested in defence last week. I'm not quite sure. In fact, I don't think he did play it, but the ref's made a call. And he's made a second one here now to penalise Widnes for interference in the play of the ball.
Yeah, Warrency struggling to get to his feet there.
Here's the one where it was wiped back to 6. Shane Grady just try and get out of the way. Blocks the kick. Does he contest it?
Well, it's put Widnes on the back foot again. Cherryholm plays the ball. Gleeson finds David Larder. Larder running strongly, the 32-year-old. Gleeson, Black. Halifax just exploring that Widnes left flank at the moment. Here's Black once more. Fires the pass in. Miles Greenwood is tackled. Gets to his feet. 4 tackles gone. Bezic stabs a little kick in. Nobody on the same wavelength. Larder couldn't get there in time, but they might get another set here. He's offloaded the ball, and Cherryholm has pounced on it. Now then, this has got to be a video ref decision, surely. Dave Merrick will have a look at this. Cherryholm claiming the try. The kick from Bezic seemed to be gathered by David Larder, I think. Chased by David Larder. He couldn't get there.
Paddy Flynn, who's picked up, isn't he? There are 4 or 5 Halifax defenders carrying him back in goal. He does offload. Now it's missed by the fullback Scott Yates. You see, the goalpost prevents the scene. I don't think there's any interference. It's a clearly attempt by Widnes to pass the ball to a player, fullback Scott Yates, and you see Cherryholm there at the left-hand side of your picture, drifting through, gets involved, and grounds it legitimately for a try.
And hands on knees in the background. Yeah, that ball is definitely an attempt to diffuse the danger or try and get them out of danger, and it's just created ultimately a try-scoring opportunity for Halifax and for Neil Cherryholm.
Well, what positive signs here for Halifax. Whenever they're able to get close to Widnes' try line, they're able to find a way over it. Vigorous and aggressive enthusiasm in defence has forced a mistake from Flynn. Yates can't quite pick up the bouncing ball near his own try line. Cherryholm doesn't score that many tries. Won't say no with the ball over the try line.
Well, Paddy Flynn, a hero at one end as he scored the try, but this time it's his mistake that has led to the try for Halifax. And Neil Cherryholm, called into the side because of Matt James's unavailability, gets his second try of the season, and he was alert to the opportunity.
Well, playing on the wing is probably the most exposed position in rugby league nowadays. You're under more pressure and scrutiny. As the kick comes through, you have to stay low and in the field of play. He's unable to do that, and being carried back, he makes a decision to offload to a teammate, which ultimately is a poor one. The number of players that are picking up Royston, Smith, they're all in there trying to drive him back in goal, force the goal line dropout. Flynn panics. It leaves Ben Black with a chance to add 2 more points. Sadly, he can't.
Black misses with that one, and Halifax ahead now by 10 points to 4. And Widnes will be kicking themselves because those Halifax tries have both come from Widnes' mistakes.
And penalties as well, Bill. As Phil quite rightly said, this pitch is shorter, so you cannot give penalties away because it just eats up these big guys like Watine. Will just charge it upfield and they'll give the halfbacks a platform to play off. Just a bit of a brain explosion by Paddy Flynn, but I'm sure they'll be looking to put that right for his teammates.
Big Frank is on, so is Saeed Tamgart as Matt Calland rings the changes for Halifax. There is Tamgart. He's from his olden days now a familiar figure, supposedly sockless, but in actual fact he's got a pair of ankle socks there, but that's as high as it goes with Saeed, the Frenchman. And Halifax get the penalty, offside.
Well, some more good luck here for Halifax. Just when they've made an error with Mark Gleason passing the ball, you see, I think it's Toakoi Love. In fact, no, the other 2 players inside him set off too quickly, Lee Doran and Loz Wildball, before the ball was played.
2 balls.
I like the enthusiasm and aggression, though, that Halifax have started this game. It is controlled.
All right, Bob.
Playing with some great speed and tempo.
Frank Watine
Off the neck, Jim. 1. Move.
just makes a couple of metres for his side and then plays the ball. And Tamgart on the charge. They like him here at Halifax. Wholehearted competitor. Widnes pushing their luck there, maybe. Ben Black changes direction. Greenwood comes bursting onto the ball. 3 tackles gone.
Play 8.
It's Mark Roberts he was, and Roberts plays the ball. Gleeson, here is Bezic now. Bezic looking for an option, but he's wrapped up by his former teammates in Widnes Vikings colours.
Get up, Toa.
Gleeson now.
You didn't play it, Bob.
And
You
he-
just rolled it through.
And Robert Hicks has already mentioned that about
Oh, you didn't even make the
correctly playing the ball. I've heard him just as play continued, just warning somebody about playing the ball and not happy with that, so the penalty goes against Halifax and Webster will belt that one into touch.
Well, massive relief for Widnes. You know, that's not a common thing. You actually hear referees in many games advising the players, giving 2 and 3 opportunities, telling them that they must make a better effort. Oh no, Lee Doran's lost possession and he said play on.
And Widnes players stopped and watched there, and then the pass goes sailing out of play from Ben Black. Matt Calland can't believe it. Ben Black can't believe it.
Yeah. Sorry, you're heading to.
Well, the touch judge had the line open. Why didn't he take it?
It's Widnes heading to.
Lee Doran now, it's clearly stripped in a one-on-one though, I think.
Ball in.
How is that a one-on-one?
Out.
What about this for a pass?
What
Was the touch just thinking? It was the line was open.
Tackle 1. Move. Hold.
This is a must-complete set now for the Widnes side. They've been defending in their own half most of this first 18 minutes. They've got no field position whatsoever.
Hold.
They've got to gain some energy levels back because they've been defending. When you're trying to put people like Frank Watine down and Saeed Tanga, it takes a lot out of your energy tank.
Paddy Flynn felt that from Saeed Tamgart, former UTC player Tamgart, and Dean Gaskell is tackled.
10 metres.
Gleeson and Larder with the tackling. Mark Smith, Duffy, Ostick, that's the 5th tackle.
Move, go.
Webster now will just chip that ball into the corner for his wingers to chase. Warrancy goes back, they're in a real mess here. Warrancy somehow gets a hold of it. It looked as though that was going to be a complete foul up at the back between Greenwood and Warrancy, but they managed to get away with it.
There's not going to be any advantage, it's a last tackle turnover.
It's deemed that Widnes have actually knocked on here.
On the 10
But I think we've got to compliment the accuracy of the kicking game from both sides. We've seen what pressure it puts players under. This one from James Webster. He wants it to stay in the field of play, just stopping short of the try line.
Tackle 1.
It's a knock on into by Widnes.
That's how the ball popped up into the hands of Warrancy. That could have turned out very nastily.
2. Move. Hold. Go.
20 minutes gone. Halifax ahead by 10 points to 4 here at the Shea.
Move, Jim.
Between the two of the big guns in the championship. Certainly that's the way the bookies see them. They're not really able to separate these two. Both with their sights on the grand final. Speaking of grand finals, tomorrow evening St Helens and Leeds will meet at Knowsley Road in a rerun of last year's grand final. And that's at 7:30 on Sky Sports 2 and HD2. Meanwhile, here comes Halifax again with Shad Royston. Royston in and out, out again. Back into Patterson. Patterson for the line. Or is he? Another video ref decision.
But that's not a bad thing, though. We could watch this forever because this is fantastic rugby league. Just intuition of players to know whether teammates are going to support and keep the ball alive. Now, are they onside?
Oh dear.
Oh, I think not. Oh, we're going to have this one ruled out. And what a shame. See the number 4 at the bottom of your screen there. Is he onside now? Was he more than 10 metres when his teammate Patterson picked up the ball? We can't quite tell. This angle won't really help us too much. Now, number 2, Patterson, the man who comes for the ball, I think is more likely to be behind Bezic because the speed of which he's moving as this kick comes through. But that's a complete guess that I'm coming out with. Nobody knows whether he was behind the kicker. He's out at the bottom of the screen. It's not the play you see there. It's one below him, closer to the near touchline.
Well, Dave Merrick is the video ref studying this footage. Patterson coming into shot, and it's Patterson and Royston who are the key figures here.
Yeah, it looks as though he's within the 10 metres.
Yeah, Dave.
That's why we won't see any more of this. It will be ruled out, but...
Yeah.
Has Lee Patterson got his 4th try of the season, or
Where is it, mate?
is this one going to get chalked off? And I suspect it will be disappointment for Halifax.
Halfway line. Okay, no try, offside. No try, time back on.
As expected, just a little bit too enthusiastic, Shad Royston.
Tell me when I'm right, Dave.
It takes a great discipline, doesn't it? I'll tell you what you've got to compliment, the Widnes defenders who put the pressure on Bezic. That's why he has to stand so deep, to give himself time to get the kick in, and his teammates press ahead and go offside before he gets the kick away.
He was offside.
So Paul Cullen will be relieved that there was no further damage done to his side's scoreline. 10-4 it remains. Here's Lee Duran. Makes the first dent in the Halifax defence. Held, cries Robert Hicks. Mark Smith now. Here's Wild Ball. Wild Ball bounces off the challenge from Frank Watane. But they're right in front of those posts now, are Widnes. Looking to hit back here.
2 feet, Miles.
Webster fires that pass out and finds Gavin Dodd.
Move! Come on, stand up.
Dodd off the bench and into the action. Webster once more. Jim Gannon.
Okay.
Gannon, another former Halifax player, plays that ball and then comes out wide to Toa Koe Love. Steps past Royston's tackle, but is brought down.
Go. Come on, Dave, mate.
Flynn.
10, mate.
Duffy for Mark Smith. Smith collared by Bob Bezic. Former teammates there going head to head.
Last.
That's the 5th tackle. Halifax defending the line well here. Widnes not able to make any progress thus far. But here's Webster. Webster will dink the kick in, testing Warranty. Warranty has lost it. Oh, and it's booted dead.
Well, the referee has awarded a dropout here. Was he tackled in the air? No, I think Dean Gaskell went for possession. Then it's kicked over the dead ball line by Dwayne Barker.
Yeah.
Widnes will get another chance to attack here. Wow, he just about clears it before any Widnes player can get to ground the ball in goal.
It's a good pressure from the Vikings. And it's Dodd who is underneath that restart.
Tackle 1.
Takes the ball
Hold.
inside
Hold tight.
the Halifax 40. Lee Duran, just a stuttering run from him. 2 tackles gone.
Hold.
10-4 the scoreline.
Nah.
Mark Smith, Jim Gannon, and Gannon's pass goes behind Webster. Could be trouble here. Black boots it on. Warranty is alongside him for the race. It's Warranty versus Gaskell. Gaskell has lost it. He's got it back. And Widnes breathe a sigh of relief there because you had 2 flyers going head to head. And it was Gaskell who just managed to get a hold of it.
Vital piece of cover defence there from Dean Gaskell. 2 men against him. Managed to stay calm and just about get the ball there for his team. Widnes seemed more favourable to go to their left to attack against Halifax, but the ball missed a player. And hence the reason why they've lost about 60 metres of ground.
That ball has been stolen, yeah, and Bob Pesek puts his hands up and says, oh, it's a fair cop.
Well, Widnes want some ball, they need some ball, don't they? Bezic just pulls away the left arm.
Throw the ball back.
John Duffy has it taken from him, so you can see there like wrestling going on.
So the penalty, a relieving one for Widnes, and James Webster finds the commentary box. And Widnes hit the halfway line. Lee Duran again takes the first hit up.
Come on, Frank.
Tamgart with the tackle. Ostick. It's Ben Kavanagh, I beg your pardon. Kavanagh off the bench and into the action.
3. He didn't tackle him. That's 3.
3 tackles gone as Mark Smith plays the ball. Duffy, Webster. They come back in field.
4. Move. Come on. Keep coming, Frank.
4 tackles gone. Here's Duffy. Duffy, sniping run from him, and he's just short of the try line, almost got there. That's the 5th tackle. There's a Halifax player down right in the ruck there as Webster chips a little kick in. Again they go up for it, and Warranty has it, and Warranty gets away from the first challenge. The crowd lift, they know this guy's pace, and Warranty's still going, and eventually they bring him down.
Brilliant rugby league, wasn't it? Good attack, and then the great coverage from Warranty to recover and get out to that corner. Tamgart now taking it forward. What a great intensity in this match.
Move. Hold. Hold. Go. Stay out, Lee.
Ben Black. Here's Bezic. Greenwood now. Greenwood. Now Royston, and Royston tackled by John Duffy.
Move. Hold.
Halifax have just brought Sean Penkovic on. There he is. First touch for him. Here's David Larder.
4.
Larder, trusty,
Come on,
solid performer for this Halifax side. Ben Black now. Black looked forward. Tamgart couldn't take it, and they have it back.
I think there's an element of fatigue setting in a little bit for both sides, really. They've gone at one another very hard from the start of this game. That error there now, just Tamgart giving up possession. But Warranty's taking the air. He knows he's been put under pressure several times here. Look at the acceleration there. From a standing start,
hang on.
gets up 20-30 metres of ground, despite the number of Widnes players attempting to slow him down.
Keep his hands off that ball,
Widnes have the ball, and it's in possession of Gavin Dodd now.
Move. Hold.
Dodd tackled by Royston. Lee Duran again.
Halifax are moving really quick off the line. The tight 3 markers either side of the ruck are really getting up, putting a lot of pressure on Widnes players, especially Said Tamgart. He's really leading that lineup.
Gaskell did well there. He was seemingly wrapped up in the tackle, but the ball came popping out. It's now with Ben Kavanagh. Former Wigan Academy player Kavanagh.
4. Come on.
This was Gaskell's offload. Great awareness from him. Mark Smith now. Here's Duffy. Duffy taking them on himself. That's the 5th tackle.
Come on. Come on, Dave, we've only been playing half an hour.
Wild ball.
Okay.
Webster hoists that one, and again they're trying to put Warrensey under pressure. He got a shove there as he went for that ball.
Scrum down. Halifax heading.
Halifax get head and feed at the scrum. And Warrensey looks at the touch judge and says, come on.
Positive. I'm always
Shane Grady reversing into him.
And whether it be through passing plays or kicks, Widnes want to go to the left-hand side and attack Ben Black and
Come on, Frank,
Rob Warrensey on that side of the field.
Get your head in.
Guns on him, the arms.
I think what Widnes are doing at the minute, Phil, they're playing off the middle channel. They're playing from the 50. They've got options with John Duffy on the right-hand side. They've got James Webster on the left. Depends where that quick play the ball is and which option Mark Smith decides to take.
Dwayne Barker,
Hold.
another one of the close season signings, came here from Harlequins, but of course his career began at Leeds Academy.
Hold.
Been around a bit since then, Dwayne Barker. He has won promotion on a couple of occasions with Hull KR and with Castleford from this level. Halifax hoping that he's a good omen. Well, there's no promotion, of course, but there is the objective of getting to a grand final, which of course is part of the licence application system.
5 and last.
That's the 5th tackle. Dana Wilson plays the ball. Bezic
Okay.
kicks into the corner behind Flynn. Again. Well, Paul Cullen's heart will be in his mouth already.
I think it's good play, wouldn't it? The fullback, Gavin Dodd, helping out Flynn. They didn't want to get trapped in goal. He knew it was like he was heading that way.
Well, you know what happened last time.
But that's a sign of confidence as well, Bill, when you can do that. Some may say it's stupidity, but the lad backs himself, and this Halifax side are putting Paddy Flynn under all kinds of pressure.
Well, he handled it well there.
In a period of the match where perhaps they've been outplayed in the forwards, I think Dean Gaskell, the man just playing the ball now, has been of huge importance to Widnes, getting involved with some work rate and finding some speed around the middle of the field. He goes, drifts back out, comes in, does his work, and then retreats back to the wing.
And there are some big hits going on out there. Halifax have got some big units on the field, and Greenwood stretching for that one, and by the time he gets it, Widnes are there to greet him.
Move, Lee.
Oh, and Lee Duran and Greenwood just having a little bit of a dispute there. Greenwood, a former Widnes man.
You need some aggression to play rugby league. Pushing and shoving. He says he was hit in the face. Wow, it probably was too, wasn't it? A little quick left punch. One back.
Be better than
That's
that.
the first one here. It's a quick left.
No, you're better than that. Just listen to me.
There, on the jaw. Referee and touch judge missed it.
So Halifax have another penalty, which takes them inside the Widnes half. Penkovic now, Ben Black, short pass to Saeed Tamgat, who was standing still, but he's able to offload. Black with a little dummy. Mark Smith there to make the tackle.
Come back.
So too is Richard Varkulis. And it was Varkulis, I think, who just stretched out the hand and
Hold. Go.
got a tackle in. But Halifax coming forward again.
And making a lot of metres, isn't there? After the collision occurs, the Halifax players driving on with legs for 2 or 3 metres more.
Tamgard it was who played the ball. Bezic, short pass for Lada.
Move. 2 feet. 2 feet, Lee.
Off goes Penkovic. And that was forward to Saeed Tamgat. And Widnes celebrate surviving that assault on their line.
Come down.
I think they celebrate some success in defence because they've actually stiffened up, aren't they? Men making the right decisions, getting in front of option runners and preventing tries.
There's a danger every time Sean Penkovic gets the ball, as Matt Callan looks on, tries to get his instructions on. Every time he gets the ball, whether he goes in at dummy half, he gets out, takes a few steps, and he's a threat. That's a threat that Widnes need to contain, because Sean Penkovic can have a real big influence in this game.
Hold, go.
Wild ball plays the ball, half an hour gone, 10-4 the scoreline. As expected, this one a really hard-fought, so far close affair.
Hold, go.
Both these sides, a pretty good start to the season. Halifax, in fact, unbeaten in their competitive games in the Northern Rail Cup and the Challenge Cup. And Widnes, like Halifax, through to the quarter-finals of the Northern Rail Cup. And the draw for that coming up live here on Sky Sports at half-time of this game. Widnes maybe not so impressive in their Northern Rail Cup group. They lost 1-2. But they're through. And Mark Smith with the kick.
A very high quality kick, isn't it? To sit up in the in-goal area there. It's forced Patterson now to return it. And look at the drive there now by Widnes. Oh, they've picked him and carried him in goal.
No, it's over the line.
And they've forced a goal line dropout. You sound surprised.
Well, I am a little disappointed. I don't think it's called rugby lift. I think it's called rugby league, and I don't like to see people drag 10, 20 metres. I'm all for hitting and tackling, but not lifting and carrying. That's a different sport for me.
Yeah, they'll
Don't
like
know how far
that.
they take him here.
They'll like that in
Turn off.
Chalfont St Giles.
All right.
Now,
Just all that
they've
10
almost
now.
lifted him off the ground. What can
When
he
you're
do?
ready now.
I mean, if they took him back 90 metres from the other try line,
But if the defenders are dominant, Phil, like down the other end, Paddy Flynn had to get down, didn't he, and play that ball quick, come up with the offload, and exactly the same with the Widnes defenders held him up
Tackle one.
and were rewarded by
Underside,
getting
Kev.
the drop
Hold.
out.
Go.
well, I don't want to detract from the game, but you can't pick somebody up and carry them 90 metres back into their own in-goal area.
Move.
We wouldn't want to watch that.
All right,
Meanwhile, Widnes on
play
attack.
continues and Widnes are on the attack. And Los Wildboar again. One on his back but playing it loose forward.
10 metres. Come on, mate. Hold.
And
Hold.
Wildboar lashing out there. He's got to be careful. Webster. Gavin Dodd now. Dodd flings the pass out wide to Gaskill. Gaskill going backwards. Manages to stay in the field of play. It was Ben Black with the tackle. Here's Irish international Gavin Dodd again. Dodd upended. Widnes not making much progress going across the field at the moment, on about the 10-metre line. Duffy now, Wildboar goes himself, gets the ball behind him, and it's, I think, going to be snaffled by Halifax.
Well, it was offloaded, wasn't it? It was an attempt to keep the ball alive from Wildboar.
Lee, it's on the
Paul
line.
Cullen
She should be
heading
just
down for
behind
the
it.
sidelines. Well, it is almost half-time anyway.
Okay, Miles, on go.
Well, great attack and some effort in defence there. You see Tamgat just getting over the top of the ball.
Move. Hold. Go. Play on. Lee, you need
But
to
this is
cut
the
that out.
freshest and strongest that
You're doing it
Widnes have
again,
looked in the game, haven't they? Physically at the moment, Halifax doing it rather tough.
Move. Lead her on.
Well, Halifax had a bye last weekend, 11 teams, of course, in the championship, so the teams get a bye, and it was Halifax right at the first weekend of the competition, so they had their feet up while Widnes were playing. Ben Black putting his foot down for the second time, finds Greenwood with the pass. Greenwood can't get to the line. Good defence by the Vikings. Mark Smith was there. They're still there. Warranty is over for the try. And Warranty caught him napping there. They'd done so well to close down the original danger. But then they couldn't regroup at the play of the ball, and Warranty, like lightning, was over the try line to the delight of the FAC supporters. Gets his third try of the season.
Well, what a great reward for the defensive effort on their own try line. They had to scramble and push hard. They survived, and then they found some speed around the play of the ball. With that speed, they added the quick men down the middle of the field. You're seeing all the quick, lean players getting up around the ball, quick play of the ball. Warranty looks to his right, looks to his left, and there's a massive hole from which through he can dive. Quick play of the ball is what's killed them here in the two plays prior to this. And Warranty scores close to the post, having had 5 minutes under which they've been put under intense pressure by Widnes.
Former Sheffield Eagle and a big favourite at the Don Valley Stadium, but made the move north to Halifax in the close season. And of course, a former London favourite as well, Rob and brother Mike. Mike at Bradford Bulls now. And Ben Black looking to put a bit of a gloss on this first half performance from Halifax. And Widnes be so disappointed because it was they who were dictating things up the other end of the field.
You think about it, they had a repeat set, didn't they? They forced the goal line dropout. They had 10 or 11 tackles on the Halifax try line, couldn't break through it, and then that's wonderful counter-attacking.
Ben Black then with this conversion attempt. He should land this one, he does. And as half-time approaches, Halifax lead by 16 points to 4.
I talked about that man Penkovic when he come on. Rob Warranty, the size of the guy for the winger there, the strength of him when he gets near the ball. Look at Mark Smith goes high, shrugs him off, but that was made by Penkovic. He just saw that the markers from Widnes, they weren't set. He got out from dummy half to sheer speed to get through that gap. Set up Miles Greenwood for that run, which set up Rob Warranty.
And that's another mistake at the restart. Paul Cullen We'll have things to say at half-time, maybe.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the idea. Just the execution's like letting him down, but you won't get things right every time, will you? You have to make mistakes sometimes to learn from. Just hopes now that his team can defend for these 6 plays.
Yeah, there's still time for more damage, potentially. There's still time for Widnes to cause damage up the other end of the field as well, of course, but they've got to get the ball back. They've got to stop the progress of people like Saeed Tamgat. Penkovic directing operations there. Ben Black. Here's Bezic now. Bezic looping past, Greenwood finds it, and this time Patterson will... Oh, good defence again from Widnes. It looks as though Patterson was going to go screaming in there. That ball comes loose, Toa Koilov will pick it up, play on, says the referee. Widnes survive.
Well, a huge sigh of relief amongst the Widnes supporters there as the ball comes through. Did Dodd take it from Bezic's arms?
Tackle 1.
Well, the referee was on the spot. But it looked for a moment as that ball came out wide to Patterson that he had the room to get in at the corner, but Widnes did so well to defend that.
No, he's gone 10, mate.
Gaskell now.
That's 3. Let's calm down. Hold here. Hold. Go. 4.
Widnes up the middle of the field.
And Bill, we watched Widnes against Toulouse last week, and this is where they had a lot of joy, getting the quick play the balls, like to these guys, interchanging in the middle of the park, causing real speed, and that's what you want. You want people like Mark Smith going forward. You want to offer quick play the ball, John Duffy, James Webster.
What's the kick like from Webster now? They're again hoisting it up the middle. This time Halifax are able to deal with that.
Move. Hold, go.
And Warranty. Well, that was a wild pass, finds Dwayne Barker. Barker was able to take it, but that could have been a bit embarrassing.
That's good take under pressure. Shane Grady putting him under all kinds of pressure. But this is where Rob Warranty's really strong. He gets out, he attracts the defenders, he lands on his front, tries to get up quick, and Penkovic again on the back of that quick play of the ball.
4. Move.
Penkovic, whose career began at Warrington as an academy player. Oh, that's a pass that's dropped by Dana Wilson. And that'll probably be it for this first half.
Dana Wilson coming onto this ball, just had a little look up, Ben Kavanagh and Lee Duran in front of him. The referee stopped the clock because the Widnes players have got in. Probably get 2 more, 3 more players, attacking players, but Matt Callan will be really happy with the first half performance by his Halifax team.
Bit of a kick and chase, do you think? Gavin Dodd has found acres of space up the middle. Halifax a little bit slow there. Here's Lee Duran again. Duran pushing towards those Halifax posts. They're about 20 metres out now. Webster. Back to Ben Kavanagh. The clock ticking down at the end of this first half, and Widnes would like to get points on the board here if they can, and Mark Smith doing his best to get them, but Halifax managed to hold him. And that's the last action of this first half. So close there, Widnes, to maybe snatching something at the end. Coach with a lot to think about there, because a lot of the damage done has been self-inflicted from the Widnes Vikings team.